Gentlemen No Class is proud to be a part of the HC Universal Network. Gentlemen No Class is recorded, mixed, and edited by M5 Studios. M5, motherfucker!
This podcast contains explicit language and is intended for adult audiences. The views and opinions of Gentlemen No Class are strictly for comedic purposes and should not be taken literally. For instance, like this disclaimer. Now grab yourself a pint and enjoy.
Oh, welcome to another brand spanking new episode of Gentlemen No Class, a podcast that when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
Paul.
And I'm Rob. Nice, Josh.
Strip club impersonation.
Yeah, I like that. And like it or not, gentle ladies and you gentlemen and you gentle dogs and gentle cats.
Gay.
We are your hosts of
I'm
this
sorry,
episode.
I didn't say that right. Yeah!
There you go. You're going to say that word, you got to say it right.
Who the fuck is Josh?
Josh, who
Another
is Josh?
guy.
He just showed up here.
I'm the dude.
You're the dude.
He
Now,
was on the
Josh
Houston team.
Josh is
in
another
our...
guest from our
Yes.
great episode at Eureka Heights with our Houston versus Dallas debate, but Josh was on the losing team, so
the enemy.
we had to bring him in and give him a chance at redemption.
So we did a recount, and yeah,
we're going to give...
We did a recount. Houston still won.
We might give the other contestants a chance to come on, too, so we'll see, those lucky bastards.
I don't think that's happening.
I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
Nah.
Have you met the other contestants?
Yeah, they're great. They're wonderful people.
Listen, I'm not going to say that
they
that
provide
I don't support my team, but
many services
my
for
back
our
hurts
society.
still
from carrying the team.
If you listen to the
All right,
the
well, that's
answers,
them.
All right,
My favorite line from that whole night. The whole night. Hey, guy in the fake Nautica t-shirt, polo shirt.
he was a very
the fake
good-
Nautica shirt.
He was a good sport.
He was. I thought you knew him. I thought that
too.
was one of y'all's people.
Yeah.
It was.
No,
I was very surprised to find out that he was just a patron of the.
he was just another dude. But when you insult people a little bit, and Jake knows that
Yes.
I've been doing this for a while. But
yeah.
when you insult people in kind of with like a gleam in your eye, nothing, you're good.
That's
Nothing-
that
Yeah.
trick?
No, I
That's
really.
the trick. You got to have a gleam in the eye?
Yes.
That's
yes.
the gleam
No
in
wonder
your
it
eye.
never works for me.
Now, I'm glad that Josh, you rolled with the villain role that you had, kind of. You know, you were kind of like the asshole, but it was a funny
That's
asshole,
kinda
but the
typical.
friendly asshole.
Like a bleached asshole. I'd
there you go.
say. Yeah,
There you go.
Pretty to look at?
pretty. Still an
But still
asshole.
But
shitty.
still an asshole.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm still
So-
gonna chocolate shotgun, but pretty.
Oh, my God.
So this is going to be, I think, our last episode of 2018. So
A hell of a year for us.
it is. I'd like to do some current events and then maybe a year-end recap, and then get down to our great topic that we have to discuss tonight. So, current onward into current events. What were we talking about with current events?
Hellboy.
The Hellboy trailer
Hellboy.
dropped.
Yes.
Jake's a loser and didn't watch it, so we just had to play it for him before we started the
Thank you. I
episode.
appreciate
Yeah.
that, though. Thank you. For
Well,
the
That
insult. For the
face,
insult.
that got to me, the squishy face, lack of movements. But according to Rob, source material, it's
I
close to
think
it.
that this Hellboy looks way closer to the source material than Ron Perlman's Hellboy. But that being said, Ron Perlman played a hell of a Hellboy. And I don't know that David Harbour's going to be able to live up to that, because I think that everybody's going to compare it to that.
Well, I've also heard, I don't know if this is true or not, I didn't look it up, but I thought Ron Perlman actually helped him with the character, too.
Did he?
I thought, yeah.
That'd be interesting to look up, because
And-
I'd be interested to know if that was
He
true.
kind
or
of
not.
just
Yeah.
gave him support on it, and I think if that's the case, I think he'll probably do, he'll do what he can. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I mean, I think that it's the trailer looks really good. It's got Mila Jovovich in it.
yeah,
I'm
my
curious to
baby.
see what roles all these people are playing going forward. It's got I don't know what that guy's name is. The only thing that I can that pops off to the bat in my head that he was in, the old guy that narrates the trailer. He was in like one or two episodes of Game of Thrones, and He played. You're a Game of Thrones fan.
You talking about?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So he was when
from the original one. What is he from the original one? What do you recognize him?
I think that he plays the old man, like
the
Hellboy's
father.
Yeah,
John Hurt.
Yeah, John Hurt's character.
Oh, yeah.
So
a bunch of stuff.
So I think that not John Hurt, but I think the guy
Yeah.
that in the new Hellboy movie is the guy. So you remember the Game of Thrones, like 1 or 2 episodes where the Hound comes back and he's like working with those people, and then the Brotherhood without banners kills everybody.
Yeah.
The leader of those people that he was like living the simple life and building that church and stuff like that. That was him.
Yep.
That's the only thing I know him from, like right off the top of my head. But that's just because we just got done watching Game of Thrones again. Like we watched the whole thing over.
You
so,
have to.
But I don't know what his name is, and what other stuff has he been in. Jake, you know?
I have no idea.
I didn't actually really pay attention to him. I was just looking for Abe Sapien because I think I like his character in the
He
original.
had. I don't know who played him in the first one, but didn't Niles Crane from Frasier do his voice?
I
Yes.
think so. Yeah,
Yes, he
that
did.
sounds like his. Yeah, that sounds like
Absolutely did.
Yeah. So I mean,
Placed it.
I don't think that was. What do you call? I don't think he did the motion capture or whatever for that character.
Yeah, it was somebody else. I looked that up a while back, and Seth MacFarlane playing the what's called Agent Krause, I think.
Yeah.
Something
what's called the air. He's I don't know how he survives. Like it's by air, some shit. Like he's used to be a scientist or something. I don't know.
The guy
His
that's all
body-
sand.
Well, no. Well, Seth MacFarlane provides a voice. Agent Krause, I believe his name is, in Hellboy 2. I was just saying that character was great. I love
Oh.
Seth MacFarlane doing the voice. It was,
Okay.
it was a good character. It was funny.
Oh, so the
yeah.
guy's name that I was talking about is Ian McShane. So he was in Deadwood. That's where that's what he's probably most known for.
Yeah.
And he was in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, which leads us into another segue in another current events. Disney has announced that they are rebooting the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise
What?
without Johnny Depp.
Got to milk those titties, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go back to the
Reboot
Hellboy. It's
again.
this Hellboy, it's a reboot, right?
Yeah, this is a
Okay.
complete reboot.
So I'm gonna make it known that I'm fucking tired of reboots.
Yeah.
I'm getting sick and tired. Not that you brought Pirates of the Caribbean being rebooted too. It's
So
like,
you want more original pieces.
or you
Yeah.
just add on to it, or maybe if it's gonna be a different actor playing the role, just tie into the story.
a reinvention or a
Well,
reimagining.
I
right?
think that
Take it
but I
different-
think that like
the reboots.
Like, what's wrong with
Disney's doing?
originals? And
Disney's
it
Disney's
wasn't
gonna do the
that long
reboot. I'm
ago.
sure Punisher's gonna be canceled eventually after the season. They're gonna probably do another reboot. It's like it's kind of
they're
wasting your time.
I don't
kind of,
think
you know
they're
what I
gonna
mean?
How many
reboot it.
Hulks can you have? Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that the thing is that like instead of adding on to the franchise, what they're doing is as from one director to the next, like you as that second director of the second film, like you're kind of feel like you're stuck to that storyline that they set up. You know what I mean? Whatever canon they laid out in that first movie or 2 movies or 3 movies or whatever, you're stuck to that. And if that's not the story you want to tell, if it differs from the source material enough, and you're like, the source material is great, like we should stick to that, like then you have to reboot it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I feel like there's a lot of directors and there's a lot of people, and it's cross industry, right? Authors, they do the same thing. Oh, I read this book by this author, and I would have done that similar, but what about this would have been a lot better? And I feel like directors do that too. And
Yeah, I agree, and I think that I'd like to see different people's take on things. I'm kind of interested to see how Hellboy goes without. I think Guillermo del Toro did the second one or the first.
No,
the
he
first
did
one.
both.
He did both.
Yeah.
So I mean, like they had a lot of Pan's Labyrinth is like very Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how this plays out without that like vision of his, because that's kind of like his shtick. Like
I guess
that's what he does, and I kind of want to see like where this goes without that, because that's really far from the Hellboy source material.
Yeah.
Now, would you be okay? I don't mean to interrupt, but would you be okay? A Star Wars reboot?
ooh,
It depends on
Put your money where your mouth is, Rob.
yeah,
In the current iteration of Disney and the way the decision making that they've been going with Star Wars, no. I would not, because I think they're making terrible decisions right now.
Absolutely.
But
I'm with you on that.
on the flip side of that, if the right person got a hold of it and they were going to tell that story over again with modern technology and try to reset everything up and kind of make all the, make the canon timelines work, all together and all these other things, if in the hands of the right person, I'd go see it. I don't know that I'd be like super supportive of it until I saw it. You know what I mean? Like if you gave Christopher Nolan a Star Wars trilogy, I'd probably go see that.
Right.
But if you gave Michael Bay a Star Wars trilogy,
no.
I wouldn't go see that.
It lasts 20 hours.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they gave Rian Johnson, who directed The Last Jedi, an entire trilogy.
Yeah.
They haven't said where in the timeline it lies, but they've signed him on for an entire trilogy. And I think that's a terrible move.
Yeah.
And, the episode 9 trailer or some kind of footage or something is going to be dropping any day now.
Yeah,
it
sure.
has to.
Yeah,
We're about 12 months out from the movie, and filming is wrapped, and rumor is that this is going to there's going to be a huge time jump between The Last Jedi and episode 9.
Yeah, but I'll say this: I think I think they do the same thing with because you've got because what is it? Every other year they're doing an episode, and then the years in between they're doing like a character
spin-off.
follow, right? So
Yeah.
So I think with that's more business minded than creative.
And I think
minded.
that they
That's the-
figured out that that's a bad deal because they canceled all those movies.
Yeah,
that they
that's
had
what I was
made.
going to say. I was going to say the reason, like Jacob's Grief, I agree. These remakes, from a business perspective, and producers, they do it. Well, they do it because it's a familiar. I can't say it.
Familiarity.
Well, people are gonna. It's gonna be a hit because they know that it's been done.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I want to see this version of it or whatever. So they're too scared to take that chance. Originality, which is I rather I'm all about risk. So but them I could see it, but man,
Well, that's why they made Aliens Resurrection.
But it's so diluted. But the problem is
Totally.
people, because if one person do it, everybody else seems to do it. So it's like safety in numbers kind of type thing. But
it's
we got to take the
recognition too,
risk.
right?
If with the right mindset and right team and people, you can do it. And I think it's more and more. It's happening more and more because nowadays we have the freedom. Technology is so much cheaper and affordable and budget. Us, we can make projects. We can make feature films on our own. We don't need producers.
Right.
Whatever. It's going to take a lot of work, effort, and money, but we can do it. And we can take the chance. We can roll the who gives a fuck? It's our passion. We can do whatever we want to make that our vision of whatever we want to make fully.
Well, it has to be
try to be 100%, or not 100%, but be as original as we can, and not be a remake and just right off of that.
If you look at some of these,
the point I'm trying to make, though, I think the fact that people like us, we can do that. That they're gonna. I think maybe they'll start coming to their senses and start abandoning those.
Can I
doing remakes and all that shit?
right.
Like what you're trying to say is like you feel like people are going to get tired of the reboots and stuff like that and kind of shift back towards independent filmmakers.
Right.
And you'll see a resurgence of original ideas and things like that.
Like how things used to always be. Actually, Hollywood took chances all the time back then.
I don't know, man. Like Hollywood, like with piracy going on and stuff like that. Like I feel like the studios are putting their money where they know they're going to make money.
Yeah.
It's a safe.
Well, see,
it's a safe
not
net.
only that,
That's
but
the
then
thing,
you've got new generations of kids. You've got new generations of families that are coming up, right? So my kids are 5 and 7. They don't know. I mean, they know what Star Wars is. I'm not a bad fucking father, but
Goddamn right, Josh.
They don't know some of this stuff, right? But when the Grinch 14 comes out, when my grandkids are coming of age, that's the milk, baby. That's the money. That's what comes out around
right,
Christmas.
It's
And they go, it's a
safety numbers, like I said,
reimagining
are
of the
just they
Grinch.
know.
Not
Right. It's just, but it coincides with music as well, and people can. I don't need to go to a record label. I don't need to go to Rob, but I can produce music and do it in my home. Just like you can, Rob. Like on a, you don't need to go.
And that's
boom roasted.
It's possible to do things without like that kind of support. Like I don't need some business guy to tell me and what I can and can't do.
Right.
I have full creative.
Say that to
control.
Kathleen Kennedy. Then
that's
that's you, the independent artist.
That's how it is nowadays.
Well, I mean, even this studio. I mean, this studio is, as nice as we all love this studio.
Yeah.
I love this studio being in my house and everything. Like, fuck you. You heard that? You know what I mean? It's
my first time. It's amazing.
It's not a multi-million-dollar studio. You know what I mean?
But it
Like,
works.
I have
Bullshit.
I have nice mics and I have nice stuff, but I don't have racks of vintage gear and $5,000 microphones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's all. That's all based on preference too. At that point, like you don't need that to produce like a good product.
You're right.
Like absolutely. I said, for anything, like you could do if you know how to do it. If you can have the means, like
So
and
what
the knowledge.
what you need to produce a film or an album or anything like that, it's not the recording and production that's hard nowadays because equipment has become so easy to come across and
very affordable too
because of the internet. Like it's all out there for people to talk about and share ideas and how tos and stuff like that. What you have to make money at it is distribution and marketing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because the market is saturated with people that have home studios or film production companies.
Right. Yeah. That's the whole point of that kind of support because like I don't need them to fund. Like I don't need to go to the studio. Like I could do that on my own. Yeah. So all that extra support, make it... like, well, I mean, like, because like that's what from people tell me I know that had record labels. All a record label is a loan, a high interest loan from a bank. That's all it is. You get, because you have to take care of. We had an episode where but basically in a band you have to take care of like not marketing, but like your merch. You got to get your own booking agent for your tours. You got to set up all that shit.
Yeah, but it's a loan. But you're also getting
that also depends on your deal though. But for the most part, like some
well,
labels that you got to do that on your own.
Right.
It depends on the deal, but a
like
lot of
you're able to get into like shows and play these festivals and introduce your music to other people.
But aren't they taking on a lot of that?
That what cost though? Like exactly. How much
that's
profit?
Absolutely.
That's the trade off. So I rather instead of like I'm debating like if I when I get a final product of mine, like there's some record labels I might want to I'm thinking about reaching, but I'm trying to I want to talk to some other people and see what they say before I go down that route. If I could just do it on my own, I'll just do it on my own.
Right.
But it just depends what the offers are and whatnot, and because like I said, they'll offer the support. They have the connections, and they can whatever they can help me out on that. But I took care of the album on my own or whatever. It just depends, the deal.
Well, it's all about recognition, right? Because it's all about the same thing with the lady who opens toys on YouTube and makes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that shit.
Stupid shit like
that. Dude,
that.
my kids used to love those fucking videos.
Fuck that lady.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push her if I see her.
Dude, my kid used to watch. But the funny thing about those, what's funny about those videos, and I know this is way off topic.
Way off topic.
The funny thing about those videos is I don't know about your kids, but my kids never asked for any of those toys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like Edie would watch those videos all day and she would watch them open these toys and play with them. She never asked for a single one of those fucking toys.
I know.
Not a one. So I don't understand like where they thought the money was because my kid will ask every time for a toy that she sees for 15 like 5 to 10 second flash in between her TV shows.
Right.
Like that little fucking cock tease that they flash up on the screen. Those are the toys that she wants, man.
But they get them now because the kids have 30-second attention spans.
Yeah. It's gratification,
I'm expecting to see the Home Depot on some dude's dick and porn.
Sure, I gotta go, honey.
Yeah. I mean, like the sponsorship.
Yeah,
okay.
Home Depot on some dude's dick.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's funny that like you would think that like these unboxing videos would sell those toys, but from my personal experience, like I feel like my kid sees it and is like, okay, it's kind of just meh. Like she's done with it. Like,
she lived through her that experience.
Exactly.
I'm the king of maybe.
But
walk down the cereal aisle like a motherfucker. Like maybe we can get it. Maybe we can get it. But I don't know. Keep dreaming. You never know.
On the unboxing videos of your like tech gear, like your sound gear, my camera gear, does it make you want to like, oh shit, I need that?
I use unboxing videos
I'm
if
an
I
end cap
am
guy like a.
So if I use those kind of videos if I'm torn between like, let's say for example, if I want. If I'm like, okay, I need a large diaphragm condenser microphone for recording vocals, and I'm like, okay, I feel like there's maybe one mic that I'm kind of on the fence about, but I don't really know. and you don't want to spend the money to buy one and find out you don't like it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
right.
like, there's a lot of videos out there that are like, hey, we'll compare this, warm audio microphone to this $4,000 Neumann.
Exactly.
And see what the differences are. Can you hear the differences? And you know what I mean? At that point, I use that as an investment strategy. It's like, if I can hear the difference enough to where I'm like, man, like if I can hear the difference enough where I don't think I can make it up on the back end, like with EQ or plugins or like a compressor or something.
Totally.
Then I'll stop and be like, I just need to get what I want, and that's what I need to have. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I have a lot of high end microphones, but like I don't have a $3,000 Neumann or a $6,000. There's Telefunken microphones from the '60s that go for $20,000 a piece. One microphone. I don't have that. I have a clone of one. There's a company called Warm Audio that makes clones of those older microphones that they're about 97% there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They're super close and close enough for what I'm doing. They're fine. For some people, like old Doug Funny, to him, he's like, no, I'd rather have the original.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
of course.
But anyway, we're way off topic.
Yeah.
Talking about fucking Doug. God damn.
Balling your Home Depot dick.
All right, next
current event
that we don't have.
Aquaman. Anybody seen Aquaman?
Oh, Aquaman.
No.
I saw Aquaman at the Dollar Theater.
Aquaman.
That's what I'm waiting till too. As well.
Was it some Mexican guy acting out Aquaman with Adam Sandler's face superimposed on it?
It's
Probably.
a $13.99 GoPro taped to a gentleman screaming "Agua" in somebody's neighborhood. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe Jake can fill us in on that. Jacobo.
Wow.
Was he filming that?
Maybe Paul Angel can fill us in on that.
Hey, don't bring that shit up.
Every time I fuck with you, Paul,
we could take him,
undo
Paul.
a
It's
button.
okay.
We can take him.
We could take him.
Yeah.
I don't think so, bro.
I think I want to leave him, but all
Y'all
right.
can take me, but one of y'all's having a fucked up tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. Paul, undo one button.
That's like that comedian
Slowly, I will.
Felipe Esparza where he's like, "Oh man, my wife caught me cheating with my girlfriend, and they both confronted me, and they were like." And he's like,
"That's terrible.
Maybe we should have a threesome, but one of you's not gonna get a turn."
Yeah, maybe one of you's not gonna get a turn.
So I saw Aquaman opening night, of course, because I'm a whore like that.
Yes, you are.
I gave it a solid 7. I thought it was good. It's runtime on it's like 2:20, 2 hours and 20 minutes.
That's good.
Damn.
That's good.
It's a like me and Josh were talking kind of about this earlier. So I think the reason it's so long is because they have zero setup for Aquaman in any of the other movies. So they have to do a backstory, a kind of
Like Man of Steel?
they have to do everything
Yeah, it makes sense.
all in one movie to kind of give you like what are his fucking powers? Like what all can he do? We know that he can swim fast. We've seen that.
And why is it...
Batman has kind of said something about, he can talk to fish. So we have to figure that out. And
why is he not white? Is that what you're trying
well,
to
he's
get
not white because his dad's half Maori.
Spoiler?
New
Is that what we're doing?
No,
Spoiler?
I mean I'm just telling you. Button that shirt up. God damn it. That's
No, you
weird.
leave it right there, Paul Mooney.
You bun those
You leave it
pants.
right there.
You put those pants up,
They
sir.
were- supposed
Damn,
to know.
Paul, you look like an 8-year-old kid in the chest, bro. Why don't you eat some Carnegie salad or
I
something,
can't, man. I do it all
He's
the time,
half
man.
Mexican, half Italian. There's no hair growing
Some
there.
sort of mix.
There
right
should
there.
be
Just
double
the ratio.
hairs.
Just
There should
a
be
creeper mustache
there should
and
be
goatee.
ingrown
That's it.
hairs
You,
if he's
it's not a
Mexican
creeper,
and
it's a-
Italian.
It's very
So,
welcoming.
back to Aquaman. The best part about
My hair's better than
Aquaman
his.
was Willem Dafoe is in that movie.
Paul.
And Nicole Kidman is in that movie also.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so
Oh, she's the mom, right?
yeah,
Ooh, my
she's the mom of Aquaman. So he's
Jason Momoa bangs his mom.
Is this an
Samoa the
incest
Momoa,
thing?
yeah.
Jason
God.
Momoa the Samoa.
That's it. Yeah, one of those.
He's honestly, Jason Momoa in that movie, like his comedic timing is really good. He's not a super fantastic actor, but he's funny. He doesn't take himself too seriously.
Sure, I'd fuck him.
I mean, it's solid 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? Like I really
You can't expect too much from DC, so that's a good fucking rating.
I think that this
I'm okay
was
with that.
This is not as
Damn,
good as
that's
Wonder
solid. It's
Woman.
coming from Jacob,
This is
too.
not as
I
good
know,
as
I'm
Wonder
pissed,
Woman,
yeah.
but it's
Yeah,
what,
Wonder
but
Woman was amazing.
if you talk about like DC movies that they've made, like what is considered the DCEU or whatever they call it,
Yeah.
you know, that whole like Batman versus Superman, Suicide Squad or whatever, all those DC movies that are supposed to all happen in the same universe that they're trying to make. I would put Wonder Woman as number 1.
Of course, yes.
And I would put Aquaman as number 2.
that's-
I mean,
Okay, yeah.
I think it's better than Man of Steel.
That's solid.
Man of Steel's a good
Ooh.
movie.
That's a bold statement,
I
sir.
know, but I'm
in front of
sorry.
Jacob too.
Dude, I'm sorry,
How
but
dare
Man
you.
Man of Steel had a lot of like.
Man of Steel for me was a 9, dude.
I'm telling you, that's
Really?
that's Miracle Whip
For me.
mayonnaise bowl
I
right there.
don't know, man. Like Superman killing somebody lost it for me.
I just
bro.
can't.
Like
Superman was just hard for me to get into. I don't know.
I feel like I
couldn't-
didn't like the Superman
you.
backstory in Man of
Without Christopher
Steel.
Reeves,
I
it's
feel
just
like
gotta
it's
go.
okay. But this is what
Planet
ruined Man
Vegeta? I mean,
this is
Krypton?
this is what ruined me on Man of Steel. When he walks into that Kryptonian warship and then fucking all of a sudden he has a Superman suit, that ruined me on it. With a cape and everything.
Yep.
That was fucking gay. I'm sorry, but that was the stupidest thing. I mean,
Super gee.
But then the what they use in Star Wars, the mito.
the midichlorians.
Midi-chlorian
We're
count?
talking about DC
I know.
movies, not Star Wars.
But it was the
It's
same time
midi-chlorian
because they
count?
formed on them.
I would say
Midi-chlorians on me.
I'll throw it.
I
I'll
left
throw it
mine
like
at
this.
home.
But you did go
I'll
to the
keep Man-
doctor and get
I'll
your
keep Man of
midi-chlorian count,
Steel-
right?
I'll keep Man of Steel and Aquaman on the same level.
Thank you, sir.
I'll tie them for number.
Did he
two.
say
Okay.
brah at any time?
no?
God
He didn't
damn
say
it.
bra.
No.
Nope.
Brah.
Yeah,
See,
but,
so-
but he wanted to, though.
I will say
There's
at
a lot
the,
of outtakes.
at the premiere
He
of
said
Aquaman,
They did a haka.
haka.
Haka. Sorry.
That's how they pronounce it in Polynesia.
Get your fucking, chant, warrior cries correct, Rob.
Yeah, totally. But no. It was
Good war cries.
he looked a little. I'm gonna say out of place, like he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Like a little bit.
Like every
I mean,
day?
he broke the fake trident. Which come on, Paul can do that. Come on. But
I
like
don't know that Paul can do that.
Paul can do that. That was total styrofoam painted with gold.
I could do that.
Total styrofoam.
So
painted
I
with
will
gold.
say in Aquaman, there's a lot of fight scenes with him using the trident as a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
They were very well choreographed. He learned the choreography. Like you could tell
That's awesome.
that he had it down. It was
Well, it
was
took
him
him like
doing
10 years
it.
to fucking film that movie, right?
Like that was super
Well,
impressive.
their original idea was him on the 2 flying fish. And
the
it
2
didn't-
dolphins. Oh, dude, they didn't
Didn't look too
him riding
masculine,
dolphins.
yeah.
I really wanted to see
Yeah.
that. But
That was
they
in the
did not.
comics, though, right?
So did Little Mermaid's dad make an appearance in this too? Because he was riding some fucking dolphins, I believe.
He
but
wasn't standing on them.
He's
But
an administrator, Jake. He's king of the ocean.
Going back to the previous subject, I will be okay for them to reboot a lot of those fucking movies like Suicide Squad and all that shit.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
If
that.
they do it right, because they did it so terrible. With
I think
It's too.
Maybe
way
they
too
start with the Joker. Maybe they're doing it with the
over
Joker.
the top.
I don't know, man, because they're set. Wonder Woman's already filming. They're almost done with number 2
Yep.
with what's her name?
I can't pronounce it, but yeah.
Playing Cheetah. What's her fucking?
Oh, you're talking about from Bridesmaids?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Now, hold on,
From-
something they
Comedian?
haven't-
Yeah, from Knocked Up. She's the one, like...
Ralph's favorite girl.
I just went blank,
Yeah,
too.
it's,
Damn it.
Kristen
From
Wiig.
Ghostbusters?
Kristen
Yeah,
Wiig.
Kristen Wiig, yeah.
Kristen Wiig. I wanted to say Kristen Ritter, but that's not right. That's Jessica Jones. Kristen Wiig. So we'll see how that turns out. I mean, so we've
Kristen
had
Ritter's the one that died in Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah. Don't remind me.
I'm sorry, okay. I don't mean to go back to that.
That
yeah.
hurt when I saw that.
But yeah,
Jake.
All right. Any other current
Still watching
events?
Three's
I saw
Yeah, I saw. This is ridiculous. I saw that they were trying to make Santa gender neutral or some shit.
I heard about
Oh,
that. I heard
Jesus
about that.
Christ.
We're
not getting into that.
Why?
All right, let's get into it. Come on, baby. Grab the bull by the horns.
Fuck it, it's the last show, boys. Let's get into
Yeah,
it.
right. Last show of the year. We can go all
All right,
out.
What?
balls deep.
Maybe we
It
can
was
bring
just-
that up
Let's,
in the
let's
topic.
bring that up. We'll
Hey,
bring
topic.
that up.
Yeah.
We'll revisit that
The
later.
main-
Okay.
When
topic.
it gets weird,
Yeah.
we're supposed to get pro, yes?
Yeah, I thought so.
Shit,
When the
world's
going
weird,
gets
bro.
That
weird.
rhyme was unintentional, by the way.
Maybe it
any
was,
other current
maybe it
events?
wasn't.
I saw Godfather 2.
That's not current.
For me, I haven't seen that shit in years.
Currently saw it. Yeah, I'm with you.
All right, that's right, guys. We're wasting time. Here. On to
anyway.
the
Well,
topic
I'd
of
like
today,
to.
or
I'd like
what?
to do.
I
I'd like
grew
to just
3
do a
more
quick.
chin hairs. I'm not lying. I'm proud of that.
I would like to just do a quick recap of where Gentleman No Class came from because
Awesome, yes.
you know this time last year we were recovering from it had been I think we did our first episode since Hurricane Harvey
February.
around was it February or did we do it in November? Did we do it after Christmas?
No, yeah, it was after. It was like February.
Oh, wow.
So
Early February.
2018 was a big year for us. This is a year that we kind of really stayed on track and pushed things really hard, bringing trying to stay on schedule and on track and bringing interesting conversations and interesting topics. We've done some really great things. We've recorded more than half of our shows that are available right now. We recorded in 2018. So of all the years that we've been doing this, we recorded more than half of them just in this year.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, Gentleman No Class started in
2016.
2016.
Yes.
Comic Palooza 2016 was the first
So-
episode.
So the
May.
a
I
wreck.
think it was May. But whatever.
so I think we did episode 10 or 11 right before in June or July before
11.
We did 11 right
Yeah.
before Hurricane
It was
in
in-
June
yeah.
before
Actually, no,
before
it was in
hurricane.
August.
August. It
Yeah.
was August. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so then we did 12 starting in January or February of this year.
February.
Yeah, and then this
think
will be
January, early
episode
February.
32, I think.
Yeah,
This will
yeah.
be episode 32.
Yeah.
So we've done 20 episodes this year, which is pretty good. We've been
Yeah.
trying to stay on track, and we're trying to push the boundaries and get more content and get out there and get our name out there and have us talk shit about whatever you guys want us to talk shit about. And I think it's working really well. Like I've gotten some feedback online and stuff like that, asking for suggestions of shows, and people
Death
are actually
threats,
starting to.
you name them. Get them.
I just blocked those people though.
Totally.
I
So
welcome them.
we had a great year at Comic Palooza. We did really well there. We signed on with HC Universal Network.
Yeah.
Shout out.
And that was that's been really great for us. We've seen a lot of growth in the podcast from that.
Hosted our first annual Houston versus
Yeah,
Dallas.
the first annual Houston versus Dallas debate. I think that I don't know if that'll be like an annual thing, but I mean it'll
Well, I thought
definitely
we
be
talked
something
about it,
more.
like something we can do
we could
once a
definitely
year.
do
Yeah,
that.
we could
That'd be
definitely do
great.
something more about that. But I mean, Houston, I feel like Houston needs to retire on top. Like we're
Okay,
just gonna
maybe
be-
the concept of it. Maybe not
concept
Houston.
of
The
it,
concept, yeah,
Yes.
something we can get annually.
Yeah,
we
I
can
need
do.
to get back with Evan, and we'll get some more
Like-
stuff
Yeah.
going at Eureka Heights. I think that they really had a good time hosting us out
Yeah,
there.
and that
We
was
had a good
fun.
time out there. We've got some more stuff in the works. 2019 is going to be a big
Oh,
year
yeah,
for
it's gonna be
Gentlemen
fun.
No Class.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for me too.
So
man.
there's going to
Shit.
be a lot of
We're talking about
Yeah.
Gentleman No Class, you prick.
Fuck you.
everything
I love
that revolves on this table is Gentlemen No Class.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
true,
Like,
that's true.
Paul's got some stuff in the works that we're all going to be a part of, and like,
Yeah.
it'll be his project, but Gentlemen No Class will definitely be behind him 100% on all of that.
Oh yeah, baby.
Behind him pumping that ass,
Hell yeah.
I think he's buying a bathing suit in
Yeah.
February.
That's cool.
on sizes tomorrow.
We'd love to hear suggestions of stuff that we could do. We've got a lot of ideas on the table. There was a lot of good reception for our movie review. I think we should do some more of those.
And if you're listening to this, just make a comment on the Facebook page if you're a fan of the Saved by the Bell Trivia podcast.
I'm okay.
It's
Kelly
still on with
fucking
that shit, huh?
Kapowski, yeah.
I don't
Fuck
know
you,
that we should
Preppy.
do I don't know if we should do a trivia Saved by the Bell thing, but I would be okay with Randy's fucking a big fan of Saved by the Bell apparently.
Well, the
Challenge
Simpsons
accepted,
as well,
sir.
right?
So
Yeah.
The Simpsons as well, right?
yeah, not so
Oh, I
much.
thought he was. Oh,
yeah,
that's-
maybe he is.
I'm thinking of somebody else, maybe.
Randy, I'm calling you out,
fuck.
Randy. Challenge accepted.
So, one other real quick piece of news that I just remembered off the top of my head, and I should probably be writing these down so we don't have these moments like this. But 2018 was a big year for us. It was a big year for our friend Ryan Davidson, also who just
go. Oh,
won
yeah.
the Reality of Wrestling Texas Championship. So. If you're listening to this episode, Ryan, congratulations
Yes,
to you. He's
sir.
got his
You
first,
deserve it, man.
He's got his first
Fucking Joe Buca, baby.
defense match or whatever coming up this weekend or next. So,
And we would love to have you back on the show.
oh yeah, I
Ryan.
would love to get Ryan back on the show for sure.
Come to us. Actually, you can demonstrate some moves on
Come
us.
to me, baby. Yeah,
Powerbomb Jacob.
there's definitely some stuff that the bear can teach us, and you know,
bear.
That's
He can teach us.
He had a great year, man. He went to Japan and wrestled.
Yeah, now he's kicking
You know
ass.
what I mean? He's kicking serious
Hell
ass,
yeah.
and I'm glad that he's our friend, and glad that you know, we got to talk to him and stuff like that. I think we should exploit that a little bit more. So, friends, if you guys do anything cool, just expect us to exploit that coming up in 2019. So anyway, you guys got anything to add on our year in review?
No,
of what we did?
I think you covered a lot of
I
that.
actually do.
Okay.
Okay, so as because I have the rare opportunity to come in and provide some insight into the being a fan, listening to all the podcasts and everything else, and I was having a conversation with my brother-in-law about this because we're family and Jake's family and you guys are family now, and I think that you can tell listening to the first few episodes and then going into the progression to the last episode, you can definitely tell not only the quality but the organization. You can tell even up to the Dallas game, the Dallas versus Houston game, which we won, by the way, Dallas. So you guys can totally tell that the progression of the podcast is very real. You guys are working all kinds of hard, and as a fan, I can tell you that we certainly appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
We'll keep
Here's a toast to
fucking
us.
raping
then.
them.
I won't mind drinking to that.
Drink to that.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, mate. Fuck you, bitch.
So on that note,
If you're a fan, you're always welcome to come on the show, like Josh.
yeah,
did.
like we have some
Why
other fans that have been secretly wanting to come on the show, and I've been trying to figure out a way to get them on where it wouldn't be just weird, just like making an episode to get them on.
Yeah.
Totally.
My friend Tad is a huge wrestling fan,
Done.
and he's been wanting to come on the show.
Tad, Tad, T-A-D?
Tad, Tad.
Short for tadpole?
No, that's his name, Tad. It's not short for anything. That's his birth-given name.
All right,
Paul,
Tad.
we just got you Rosetta Stone for English. How are you having problems with this Tad thing?
Tad.
What in the hell?
So,
Is your mustache too big?
He's a
it's
he's a huge wrestling fan, and I know that he would really like to come on the show. So we may try to figure out a way to get that. Maybe we can work that in with Ryan. You know what I mean? Like do something cool like that.
Definitely stunner us or something, man.
Yeah, stunner you. I'm not getting stunned.
No,
I
us.
gotta go to work tomorrow.
Us, yeah.
Yeah. I'm only on here to sexually harass Paul.
Yeah, you're doing a fantastic job of that, by the way.
I'm telling you.
So yeah.
So we kind of wanted, since this episode is being filmed like 2 days before Christmas.
You're gonna hear it on Christmas morning, guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Merry fucking
we're
Christmas.
gonna drop this Christmas morning.
That's a present. That's a real present.
Yeah, that's
sum.
so. Merry fucking Christmas.
It's a sum.
I got a
This is-
DVD for myself, but Merry fucking Christmas.
I got a Lego X-wing.
Everybody's
Why
got
are
a
we
Lego.
not Legoing at your house or my house on the weekend?
I don't know, man. So we found out an interesting fact tonight. Josh lives like 10 minutes from me. So,
Legoing?
like we may be hanging out a little bit more.
Yeah, I would never do it, but like I could bike here. No.
Yeah,
I'd hold on to a fucking drone before I biked here. You know what I mean?
Oh Jesus.
Nice.
So we thought that an interesting topic for tonight would be, kind of Christmas. We're going to talk about Christmas and how Christmas is celebrated, different cultures, different households. Since we have kind of a diverse group on this podcast panel, like different cultures celebrate different things with Christmas and things like that. So Jake is Mexican American.
This is some old bullshit already, Rob.
He's old Salvadorian.
We have a lot of different cultures going on. My wife is Dutch,
American,
so
goddamn
we do Dutch Christmas, and we do like kind of a traditional American Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Paul does whatever they do at their house.
What
I
Japs
want to
do.
hear that.
Not very
Josh,
exciting,
I
but
kind of
I'll
want to
tell
hear
you.
what y'all.
Sure,
we
Kwanzaa.
want to talk about all the things that Christmas and Christmas related. It doesn't have to be religious. I would prefer to stay away from religious stuff. But
we're getting heavy into that later on.
you know what I mean? Like, so who wants to kick this off? Like,
Well,
Jake, do you want to start?
Sure. You
talk
call me
about
out first because I'm
like how you celebrate Christmas.
Sounds
at your
like I'm
house or
from
with your
Mexico.
parents.
It sounds like I'm from Mexico.
Sure.
But I think I do pretty much.
I said you were Mexican American.
Oh yeah, you said it.
Nice.
Baby. You said it.
So okay, so pretty much
Mr.
what I do is
You guys wrap your presents.
I
in,
usually
No,
work.
don't say it.
tamale shells.
Yes, exactly. Fucking corn husks.
You
Yeah,
do it.
corn
Yeah,
husks.
corn
you're
husks.
right. You're
Yeah.
gonna say
Tamale
it. Yeah, I don't know what the
shells.
fuck a tamale show is.
Yeah, you make a cake out of masa.
Ultra
Get the fuck out of here
racist.
with that.
No,
You do it too, John.
we used, I don't know, this weird thing of like three types of milk or something.
Tres
Tres
leches.
Yeah. I don't know what the
Yeah. We do
you
quattro
knew what that.
leches.
You knew what that meant. You just
Racist
didn't want to say it though. You're
What?
just too ashamed. Don't be. It's
No,
all right.
No.
Paul's Lebanese.
okay.
They
No,
do
because
quattro
they're making it
leches.
seem like I do something that's
Lebanese.
very Mexican American-ish when I do pretty much everything, pretty much what y'all do probably.
Yeah.
I open the presents, Christmas
Well,
morning.
like, what do
But
y'all growing up? Like,
growing
what
up,
were
growing up,
traditions
growing up,
in
what we
your
did.
house?
Okay, no, growing up,
Do
what
you
we
guys
did.
play a loteria?
Yes, okay. If I can get a word in, you get it.
My bad.
No, you're good.
It's the rum.
No, but we would like
Wrong.
at 5 years of age, we would get like a case of beer and we're all chug fucking Bud Light because we're Mexican, right? No,
It's time for you to be a man.
American family.
It's time for you to be a goddamn man.
no, what we do every year is Christmas Eve, do our thing, just go shopping pretty much, whatever, or go to like a movie. Like my mom will kind of try to like get my brothers to take us out and go catch a movie or something while she like wraps gifts and stuff like that. And then we'll do the midnight mass deal.
Catholic
And
Mass, all right?
yeah, and then we will get home around
That's
1.
Christmas Eve, right?
Christmas Eve, right? And then 1:30, it would be.
Well, so technically Christmas Day.
Well, yes, when we get back home, yeah. So I would open up one gift that my brother got me, and he would open up that same a gift that I got him, and just that one gift, and then we go to bed. And I remember one Christmas I will never forget. My brother got me Enema of the State, and it was like the best present ever.
Blink 182's album,
yes,
Enema of the State.
yes.
Okay.
And it was after midnight mass, and I fell asleep to that album, and I remember this distinctly. Like, it was just the best morning. And then I woke up and we did our Christmas gifts, and that's it. Then growing up and like getting older, having a family, we kind of separate now. I kind of have to split my time with my family to my wife's family, and it's just I don't look forward to the day anymore because it's like I'm so busy, dude.
Yeah.
So
And
let me
it's
ask
not
you
fun
something.
that much.
You got 45 things. to do.
I don't want to be selfish and take it to my family, but I got to
Yeah.
to that.
So let me ask you a question, and this is just coming from where I'm coming from.
Yeah, for sure.
You've met most of my friends. So Randy, I spent a lot of time with Randy growing up. We were in a band together, so spent a lot of years at his house, and I've seen a lot of Mexican traditions.
Right.
So I've never asked. I just observed and participated, but. Like Randy's mom and her sisters, or whatever, they would do tamales like every Christmas, like a shitload of tamales.
Yeah.
And his dad would be in the backyard smoking cigars and grilling fajita meat. We'd be back
Why
there
don't you bring
hanging
any
out. You know what I mean?
goddamn
Right.
So like, what is it? Is that something that your family did?
So
Like,
yeah. There were
and if
times-
they do tamales for Christmas and shit, how come you didn't bring any?
No, we don't ever do. My brother will probably go to this place over there on the north side and order a few dozen, and then that's pretty much it. We don't ever go all crazy. We still do the turkey, we do the ham, we do the fucking it's like Thanksgiving
Summer
all
ham?
over again,
Yeah, part 2.
And then
See,
we
do
only
both?
do that the tamales whenever we go to like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day to my aunt's house when I was growing up. But then
Okay.
she ended up like catching some shit with the law, and we stopped going over there.
It was a stash house, and we had to leave.
So how does
I'm
it
learning
differ?
new things from you
R.I.P.
tonight, Jacob. Thank
How
you.
does it differ with Megan's family? Like, are there traditions that Megan likes to do with her family that y'all kind of incorporate?
Yeah, so what we do, we go and do this year, we're actually going to do a 4:00 mass on Monday. And then we will go have Christmas dinner at her aunt's house. And we go home. And
With some
then,
bland ass mashed potatoes.
There you go.
Not enough salt. There's never enough salt.
Never know so why.
White people.
This is a problem.
It's white people. Never
Okay. Well, yeah, my salt's pretty. My
I stay away
pretty
from salt
salted.
anyways.
It's because
I'm
you
okay
catch
with
it in
it.
that.
My salt.
I throw hot
mashed.
sauce on my shit. To be honest with you, that's my
Throw
sauce.
hot sauce on mashed potatoes.
Throw my
I'm
hot
telling
sauce in my
you,
coffee.
you are a black you are a black chick that works at the DMV, man.
Nice in disguise. I like
Hot
it.
sauce and ranch in
Is
your
that who you
purse.
identify
White
as?
people are very racist.
Do you have a
Who's white
Do you have a
here?
hot sauce holster for your belt?
No, I do
No.
not. Like a
Calm
Selena.
down, Selena.
I know, like a
fucking,
Selena.
or husband.
But I
or
do have a hot sauce
fuck it is.
preference.
Yeah,
No,
never leave without it or some shit.
I do have
don't
a hot
know.
sauce preference, and I can never find
Valentina?
Go to
What's
no,
your
fuck
hot
that.
sauce preference?
What is it,
Valentina's
Jacob?
all
What's your
lemony
hot
and
sauce
stuff.
preference?
There's this
That's Hollywood?
HEB has a special
Of course it's HEB.
habanero hot sauce. It's called La Voy. I think it's called La Voy.
La Voy!
I think so, yeah. And you cannot find it at Kroger. You cannot find it anywhere else. It's only at HEB.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like the best hot sauce. Now, if I don't go to HEB, then I just got to get the habanero Tabasco sauce. I can't deal with that
You
original
gotta
shit.
settle. Don't settle, baby.
I know.
Make
But
that drive.
yeah, we do a lot of the church
Yeah.
thing. Midnight mass, and then we just go home and I make my rounds to her family. She does my family. And
Now let me ask you
that's
this:
it.
do you guys open presents at Megan's family on Christmas Eve?
No. We don't ever do any Christmas Eve opening.
So there's no gift
Yeah,
on
it's not
Christmas
the
Eve.
traditional Hispanic way. I think a lot of Hispanics do the
That's
Christmas
what
Eve.
they
Yeah.
do. Right.
Now we do the Christmas morning.
That's so that you can focus on God or whatever on Christmas.
But, you know,
Day.
we'll get to that later. But you know, technically it's not supposed to open until I think it's the 6th, but whatever, January 6th. But
Oh, my birthday? Or my day?
Yeah, it's like-
Do you have
birthday.
evidence about?
No. But what I was trying to say is that lately now, since we have a baby boy, he
Lando Calrissian,
Lando
smoothest motherfucker in the universe.
the grandparents come over in the Christmas morning and open up gifts with Landon, and we make a big old breakfast casserole,
Nice.
and then they
Coming
bail.
over to your fucking house.
I don't know
Christmas
shit,
morning.
Yeah,
right?
you're a fucking white dude. Breakfast casserole.
Yeah, I know, right? We get that. Crock pot
He
going.
married a white girl, so
Well,
I mean, that's-
she's extra white. I got eggs and bacon and bell peppers.
Growing up though, when I was a kid, man, I would try to wake up my parents like, let's go.
breakfast
And-
casserole is just a fucking breakfast taco without the fucking
Pretty much
tortilla.
without the exactly. Throw some hash browns in there. And mix it in, you're good. Yeah, that's
good.
exactly what it is.
Exactly what it is.
It's true. But, yeah, that's enough about me. What about
So,
you guys?
Josh, what about you? What's you and your wife's family traditions? Like,
Oh,
do y'all
man.
have Christmas traditions?
So we do. So growing up, little bit tough. Not going to get too far into that, but
Sure.
the traditions were.
I'm with you.
Yeah, we did that on Jake's bachelor party, but it was a little bit. The traditions were a little bit skewed, I would say. But so
Asterisks
right
on your traditions.
asterisks on my
Okay.
tradition. So my wife and I, we do. She's big on the event of it all, right? You know, you want
Yeah.
the kids to have. Oh shit! There's a dude coming that's gonna give me presents. What? And so
Yeah.
this year we're setting traps for Santa because we're gangsters like that, and then. But
What the fuck you mean trapped? Like,
Traps,
explain,
bro.
sir. Like,
So we're putting
fucking
double-
ornaments on the window.
Hold on,
Seal, like,
Ornament.
Hey, listen,
You got
ask
fucking
and you
Kevin
shall
McAllister.
receive.
Hired
Ask
him.
and you shall receive, player. So we're doing Coke cans near the fucking chimney, which, they don't fucking know, but I'm going to kind of place a couple down like, oh, shit, this motherfucker really... But here's the problem. Here's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about when they find out the truth and they go, this motherfucker...
Make sure you don't listen to this podcast, then.
Right.
Don't let your kids listen. Like the Dave Chappelle. Brandon,
No.
not bring your kids.
No. So y'all are totally going to be the friends that are like at my funeral, and the kids are like, "Who the fuck are those guys in the corner?" And y'all are going to go, "Your dad was a fucking idiot." But wow, did he have some stories? And they're going to go, "Oh yeah."
Those guys.
That's
We never heard of
Yeah,
that.
those guys. But no. So we do the so Christmas Eve we do movies, right? So we're all about watching the Christmas Carol and all the classic.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's
and-
my kids
I
are
was
saying-
watching that today.
I want to watch that, but my
love that
kids
movie.
and my wife's not cultural at all.
All right.
She's kind of bland, right? But I love her, but she doesn't want to watch that, and I'm down like Charlie fucking Brown. But so what we're gonna do is
Hold on. Before we get off the top of we don't need a big discussion about it.
Go ahead.
Favorite Christmas movies, Jake?
Ooh, man.
Number one favorite.
Number
Christmas
one.
movie?
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
Ooh, 4 Christmases, Vince Vaughn.
That's a good one.
Oh,
that's a real good one.
Oh,
It's a-
okay, going Neo. All right.
It's
like
a tie.
that.
It's
I
a
like
tie between Jingle All the Way and Die Hard.
That's yeah.
Such a bitch.
So I love Die Hard. My favorite Christmas movie of all time, 1984. It's called The Santa Claus.
Yes.
And it has John Lithgow
Oh,
and
no, I thought you were
shit.
talking about Tim Allen.
Lithgow.
Yeah.
no, not the
John
Santa, not the
Lithgow.
Santa
No,
Claus.
not the Santa
Claus.
Santa
Yeah.
Claus.
Okay.
The Santa. It's called. I think it's just called the Santa Claus.
It's
or
just
so-
called
or-
the Santa
or
Claus,
Santa
right.
Claus. Or
With
something
John
like that.
Lithgow, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
John
I heard that
Lithgow
one.
plays the bad guy, and Dudley Moore is in it.
Oh, Dudley.
And it is a fucking great. If you haven't seen it,
I haven't seen
oh,
it.
Watch
man,
it, dude.
That is
I
my
gotta watch it.
Watch
favorite
it, dude.
Christmas movie.
It's
I
luxurious.
have to watch that.
It's luxurious.
I haven't been able to find it streaming or anything, but my buddy's trying to pirate it for me so
Yeah.
I
There
can
you
watch
go.
it.
You got to do that, or you got to go to the 3 for $11.88 at Walmart. And hope to catch it.
$11.88.
It'll definitely.
You know,
Hey,
Fucking
we're
number.
rolling back prices, okay,
See,
guys? Fuck
to
y'all.
go back on the movies. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Josh, but there, you know, advent calendar. You guys know what an advent
Oh,
calendar
we
is.
have two
Yeah.
advent
Advent
calendars.
So
calendar.
what we do, what Megan and I would do is like we would take all the candy out, and then we would actually put like movies in, like movie
Yeah,
titles.
you
It's
and
like,
Megan are big on movies.
Advil?
yeah,
Like Bad Santa?
yeah, put like
Yeah.
some freaking
This one's a candy corn. Well, can't we all be winners?
yeah,
candy?
put a couple grams of fucking
We're opening up
hydro in there, right?
the Advil calendar.
Your version, right? You gotta be original.
No, but
This is
we would write a whole
Christmas
bunch of
Kush.
movies,
Yeah.
Christmas movies, and we'll just randomly throw them in there in the pockets, and then
like
you know on the
that.
12th we'll open it. Oh, okay, tonight we're watching.
Oh,
you know,
that's
Oh, nice.
Home Alone.
That's
Okay,
cool.
so
That's
correction.
cool.
That's
the,
cool.
the title of the movie, my movie, it's called Santa Claus the Movie. That's what
Okay,
it's called.
okay.
So the guy that
movie.
plays Santa Claus is David Huddleston, who's the guy that played
That name
the
sounds
Big
familiar.
Lebowski.
Yeah.
He was the Big Lebowski.
and
not the dude.
the
He was
Jeffrey
the big-
Lebowski.
yeah, he
Oh,
was Jeff-
yeah.
Yeah, he no, he
The
was
other
yeah.
Lebowski.
the other
Oh,
Lebowski.
fuck it, y'all. Yes.
Yeah,
She answered
fuck
everything.
y'all.
Get a job,
Yeah.
sir.
Little politic daddy. I'll
Yeah,
fix your
so
wicked
oh yeah. Oh brother, we're out there also. Yeah,
We're going to do a little
uh,
politic.
Yeah.
do a little, we mass communicate. Anyway, so Santa Claus the movie,
I'm gonna look at
1984.
that. I'm gonna look
Great
at that.
movie.
Okay, so that's enough of us being an asshole. Continue on, Josh.
Right. So we do the traditional thing. Although I will say, so my wife, up until probably last year, has been a practicing.
Jew?
Motherfucker.
No.
That was a great fucking just melody
pagan.
right there,
Pagan.
man.
Pagan.
Yeah, pagan.
So
Like
with
she
that,
celebrates multiple gods, or she doesn't celebrate God at all.
No, right, multiple, right?
Okay.
So the
kinda weird, but
the
okay, go ahead.
Tree
maypole, it's
light,
totally
tree
weird.
god.
But the maypole, let's bury some oregano and call it whatever.
Yeah, we went
you
to
know, all
like
that.
a couple of Samhain rituals, so
Right,
like during
right,
Halloween
a
and
couple
stuff
of
like
those.
that.
So, but that's in that, she was always kind of, talking about Christmas, and so the reason we bring trees. Have you ever thought about
Saturnalia?
Why do we bring trees in our home to do that? Have you ever thought about that?
No, actually
So,
never thought about that.
They had something called the Yule log, which is what Christmas is to pagans. And the Yule log is represented by us, Christians, or however you want to do that, in a Christmas tree.
Interesting.
Interesting.
I would like to
pretty
see
cool stuff.
paperwork to that.
You
Documentation.
You can. I believe there's a search engine called Google.
I never heard of it.
There's also a website called Let Me Google That for you.
Right.
So if you and you can send people Googles that they ask you
Man.
stuff.
There you
It's
go.
a great website. So let me ask you this. So y'all going back to doing Christmas past, like what is Christmas and things like that, combining I'm not going to pretend, I'm a Christian, so I'm not going to pretend that, Christ's birth was on the 25th. That's not what happened. When Christians were
That's when
converting
we
the
celebrate it,
pagans,
right.
when Christians were converting the pagans, it was way easier to combine the celebration of Saturnalia and the winter solstice all into one holiday and say, hey, we'll just convert this into Christ's birth and we'll call that Christmas.
Right.
Because they were already celebrating a holiday then. So so a lot of the traditions of Saturnalia were brought into Christmas, like the gift giving and things like that.
Right.
It was nothing with corporate America finishing off the year with a whole bunch of money.
No, it was way more.
I'm sorry.
No, but it helps them out.
Yeah, it does. It does help them
totally
out.
helps them out.
Just finishes year off strong.
But yeah,
It's all about their fiscal year.
that
Jack,
is
not
a
their
yeah.
calendar year.
It all depends on when your fiscal year is. Like we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. Yeah.
But no, so like that was all brought in from when the
Right.
Christians were converting the pagans and things like that. They were like, it's way easier to they have this holiday that they love. Let's just roll with it. We'll call it something that it relates to Christianity. Because I mean, if you read in the Bible verses, it talks about shepherds were tending their flocks when Christ was born. That would be in the springtime at some point. This is just when we celebrate.
Right.
The birth of Christ, whatever.
Right,
That's
right,
what
right.
Christmas
'Cause they'll be
is
Blade.
based on.
But see, and then when they, it being the Christian thing, and like on, I think it was January 6th or sometime in the early January, is when they provide the gifts, and that's when technically you're supposed to open up your presents on that day. Is
so
what
we're
they're
all
saying.
sinning.
I mean,
Well,
that's what
To
they're
each their own. I get it, but I'm just
but
saying.
I think the thing too is when they came to see the whole story, right?
I know.
When they came to see Jesus in the manger and they presented him with the gold, the frankincense, and the myrrh. That's kind of what the whole presents are. And
tell that to a Jew. I'm saying.
I mean, I hear you.
They don't celebrate Christmas.
They don't. So those kids are terrible, but
They get 8 days of presents.
You know what's
but they're shitty
Hold on,
presents.
hold on.
Like,
Okay, you're right,
We're
you're
getting
right,
off
you're
topic.
right.
We're getting
All
off
right,
topic.
my
We're
bad.
gonna stay on topic. So let's hear from Paul.
Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney.
Oh,
What's Christmas like at your house?
I'm trying to think about that. I don't really have like a tradition. I mean, of
You guys
course we
didn't
get
make
together.
tamales or anything?
Well, yeah, my mom make tamales.
You've got to have something that y'all do
bro.
every
Well,
year.
the thing
you know
is,
what I
get
mean?
into
not
it.
Go to a
really. The only
shooting
thing I can
range?
think of is
Did you?
No,
Were you ever
the only
tricked
thing
by
is-
by the whole Santa Claus thing?
when I was younger.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably.
Or like 5 years
You're not
old.
gonna lose any
Like-
cred here, man. Was there presents
You ain't got
from
to
you
lie,
from
Craig. You
Santa
ain't got
or
to
not?
lie.
Or was it
Yeah,
from Cliff
yeah.
and Delia? Not even from Mom and Dad. It was just from Cliff and Delia.
No. Even
I
better.
can't afford for this
Even
motherfucker
better.
to think somebody else is giving him presents. Fuck all that.
Fuck that! I work way
Yeah.
too hard to not get the
Way
credit for this.
too hard.
Don't,
okay?
I mean,
Come on.
when I
what'd
was
you get?
younger, we used to go. We used to go to what's called San Diego and
Go to the
to
cockfights?
Tijuana to my mom. No, my mom's from
Tijuana?
Tijuana. So the donkey show.
No.
It's
It's Tijuana.
It's
Oh,
Tijuana.
Not
Yeah.
Tijuana.
Yeah,
I
that's
got
Hollywood.
corrected. I
Yeah.
got called
That's Hollywood.
out on a podcast by
No,
this
no.
cocksucker
Yes.
over here
It's
about
Tijuana.
You're welcome.
It's
Tijuana.
Tijuana. No, not
Tijuana.
Tijuana.
that.
Tijuana.
Tijuana.
Wanda doesn't have
Whatever,
an
that's
aunt.
fine.
Yeah.
There's no
Tijuana,
Tia.
yeah.
No.
Yeah,
That's not
exactly.
Wanda.
It's not your aunt.
That's
It's like
simple.
Chris-
Chris.
your Aunt
It's like
Juana.
Chris
But
Moss.
We would go. Okay,
right?
but
The Jews were speaking Spanish before we all were, right?
When I was-
Christ
but,
Moss. There it is.
when I was younger, like I said, that was like tradition for a while. Like we would do that for like I don't know the longest.
Hold on.
And,
I don't mean to
sorry.
interject. I'm just wondering what's in San Diego that you're going to see.
Okay, well, no, San Diego, going to my
The
mom
mustache cream you guys
across the
like,
border
or-
to Tijuana. So that's
Oh,
my
okay.
mom's family has lived at the time. They all moved to San Diego eventually, but at the time, everybody there, and we go to my grandmother's house, and we all get together. And they would. I guess they would make tamales, but I remember one time they made something so nasty I couldn't stand the stench. I had to
Menudo.
go in.
What was
That's
it?
probably what it was. I had to go inside. Yeah,
fucking
or
menudo
outside.
is fucking
It was
perfect
bad. Like,
weather for
I
that.
I
couldn't-
love menudo.
I couldn't
yeah.
stand
Oh,
it because
what the
it smelled
fuck?
like a fucking
Cooking it
horse's
is a
back or some
terrible
shit.
Oh, you
nightmare.
don't wanna cook
bro.
it, yeah.
God, I don't
Eating
like
it
it.
is amazing.
I don't
Yeah.
like.
With
I
some
don't. I
beer,
still don't like it.
beer in that.
I don't like it. But
Oh,
anyway,
man.
Yeah.
Well-
with the little crunchy fly. Oh,
but
man.
like, but
you.
still, like after a while, like they just, eventually they were going. My parents went on their own, and
went
what's
rogue.
called like I remember one time like one Christmas.
They just decided they weren't going to pay your way to go there anymore.
No, they just wanted to go on their own. It's like I'll just stay. I don't
TJ
care.
got too
Like that's
dangerous.
fine. So I like one time like when we had the studio,
The wall was built.
One Christmas morning
The
for me a
fence.
few years ago when we had our studio, like I just went to the studio to write music. That was my Christmas.
Oh, nice. I think I remember that.
I was by myself. Like fuck it. Like,
I think
just,
that we were playing together, and you
terrible.
told me that, and I tried to convince you to come have Christmas with us, and you were absolutely refused.
dude, you should have
Yeah, I
totally
just-
went and had Christmas with
I just
Rob.
wanted to be alone. I was all right. And it was just fine. Like there was nobody. I remember driving. There's nobody. Yeah, it was like fucking 6 a.m. I went. I couldn't sleep. Like I'm gonna go write music. Fuck it.
Nice.
But traditions like that was the closest one I had, and that was years ago. And I haven't seen my mom's family in a long time. I miss them, and they're funny, and like always have a good time with them. But it's been a long time and meaning to go out there. Yeah. But I mean, like hearing what some of you guys have, like I kind of wish we did, but that was the closest to a tradition. Like we would just go there and spend time on my mom's side of the family.
Nice.
But we didn't have like anything like. Like what Jacob was describing. I mean, that stuff sounds cool. Like if I was ever have a family, I would do stuff like that and make it memorable for my kids, kid or whatever, and stuff like that. But
it's making it memorable for your kids is one thing, but I mean, what? So your mom is obviously is Mexican American, and your father.
But she's technically Mexican. But yeah. She's born in Mexico, yeah.
Well, is she living in America?
Yeah.
Then she's Mexican American.
Yeah.
She's American.
Amen,
We're all American. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But your dad's background, what about your dad's family? Like,
no, man.
Is he not real close to him? I mean, he's close to his dad.
That's my sometimes we'll get together with my dad's side of the family. If we don't go to San Diego. And but they didn't really do anything special. Just my fucking uncle would just get drunk and just fucking yell at the TV.
Tradition.
And it was great.
Oh yeah.
But my uncle's funny. I love my Uncle Mark, and he would just make a beer battered fucking or chicken or whatever, and just get drunk, and it was fun. That's a close tradition. I hope it happens. I don't think. Well, maybe I don't know.
Goddamn
2 days.
Mexicans.
I'm gonna invite myself so we can do it. Because hey, man, this is tradition. He lives, in the neighborhood too, so it's like not that far away.
Fuck it, go do it.
So yeah, but that's pretty much it about me.
So
nothing extravagant or
our family. I have a unique situation because we have both of my parents are divorced and both of my wife's parents are divorced.
Like that movie.
Our dads are both remarried, and now Melissa's mom is remarried. But my
don't
mom
fucking
is not.
brag
There's
that you
a
have
movie.
a dad. What an asshole!
Was it 4 Christmases?
Yeah,
Four Christmases. Yeah.
So that's what we have.
The
we
movie's
have 4
based on
Christmases.
you.
Yeah. So we have our traditional. So like the way it works is like it's fucking go time all the goddamn
that sounds
time.
stressful. Dude.
So Christmas. So like tomorrow, Sunday before Christmas Eve, like we'll do Christmas with Melissa's mom's whole extended side of the family at Melissa's grandma's house. So we'll do, Melissa's mom's father, so Melissa's grandfather, is also divorced and remarried. So he has not only his children from his original marriage, my mother-in-law's siblings, but then his sibling, their half siblings from his second marriage. It's a huge family. My wife has like 23 first cousins.
Holy shit!
So
You think he's not Mexican? That's gonna
right.
Yeah,
they're Irish.
Oh,
Catholic.
same thing.
Yeah, so
Same thing. Same thing.
We'll
different
go over.
land.
We go over there and we do. We always do like what's a white elephant gift exchange. You know what a white elephant gift exchange is?
Absolutely.
So we pick a theme every year and we try to keep it to like $20, and everybody plays a game or whatever and goes over there and drinks Crown Royal and Coke and gets
Coke?
plastered.
Smoke the weed.
No,
Yeah.
we're white. We keep it classy.
Cocaine.
Yeah, cocaine. Not crack. Cocaine.
So we'll end up doing that this weekend, and then
That they got from TJ.
really the only tradition that we have kind of lies in Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So Christmas Eve we spend with my dad. We go over to my dad's house. We do a Christmas Eve service at we're Methodists, I guess. We're members of a Methodist church at least. So we'll go to we'll go to church. Like this year, we're going to go at 2 p.m. So we'll do an early service, and then we'll go to my dad's house, and my dad will like
Beat the
smoke
rush,
a brisket or something,
Yeah.
and we'll do presents for the kids and hang out or whatever. And then Christmas morning, I really don't like to travel that much, but we do if we have to. But with I have a disabled daughter, so it's really hard to like get her up and out of the house and around.
Right.
So we have a lot of stuff. We try to make people come to
Yeah.
us.
Naturally,
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
But it's a really far drive for my sister to come all the way over here. So like Christmas Eve, we all meet at my dad's house, which is fine. And then we do that, and then Christmas morning we typically do Melissa's mom will come over here to our house, and we'll do Christmas morning with all of us. And she just got remarried, so this will be our second year, I think, with her new husband. They got married right before Christmas last year, so we'll be doing that over here, and then my mom and her crazy ass side of the family will come over around lunchtime, and we'll have Christmas with them. And then Melissa's dad's kind of a loner. He's Melissa's okay. So my wife's side of the family is very interesting because her grandfather traveled a lot for work. So they grew up, they grew up all over the world: New Zealand, Wales, Australia. They were his. So my wife's father, Ron, he was born. He was born in Wales, but he was raised in New Zealand.
By giraffes?
And do what?
Oh,
What'd you say?
so go on.
Paul, God.
I'm listening,
So
Rob.
their family, like they speak, they're Dutch. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
my wife's maiden name is Dutch. They're Dutch family. So he worked for, I think, Royal Dutch, which owns Shell.
Oh, yeah.
So I think he was he did that.
He
So,
was a Jew. What?
geologist.
Okay.
Geologist, not a Jew.
Jesus Christ.
If you're gonna say it
earlier.
right.
Yeah, right.
Say Jew motherfucker.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're right. He's right. Jake's got a point too.
Yeah, so I mean, we end up doing a lot of odd things with her family. Like her dad's kind of a loner, but he's about to be remarried, and Melissa's about to have a half sibling that's 35 years younger than her. So that's kind of
Fantastic. Hey, so this is
good.
drink.
Good for good. Yeah, and her stepmom's like 6 months older than her. So
Oh wow.
there's
Wacky
that.
family.
So anyway,
Fucking dudes, man.
so we
Good
do
for him.
We kind of do Christmas with them whenever, but one of the things that we do differently than most people do is we celebrate the Dutch Christmas, which is Sinterklaas, and
Oh, yes,
our
yes, yes, yes.
Explain.
American Santa Claus is based on Sinterklaas, and Sinterklaas, it's the Dutch Christmas, and it's celebrated on December 6th, which is Saint Nicholas, the actual Saint Nicholas's birthday. So the Dutch tradition states that Saint Nicholas rides over from Spain. I don't know why. Maybe that's where he was born. Rides over to Holland in his cart with his white horse, and they go to the houses and they deliver presents. You leave your shoes out by the fireplace, and they deliver ginger cookies and
These are the
chocolates.
wooden
Ender
shoes,
shoes?
wooden
right?
shoes, yeah,
Wooden shoes,
Wooden
yeah.
Okay.
The clogs,
Yeah,
the girls
or,
have clogs.
Or
So
Panicking.
we
I thought,
do.
like,
we
the shoes
celebrate
I'm
that.
wearing right now
we get
is
the girls
disgusting.
little presents. We celebrate.
Do they leave out a case of Heineken for Santa Claus? Or no?
shoes, bro.
No, you
Shoes.
leave carrots for his horse.
Yeah,
is what
bro.
we leave out. It's carrots
Be an ass
for his
clown.
horse.
Yeah,
So
I gotta
here's
use and
here's
carrots.
the politically incorrect part of Sinterklaas. It has been getting some flack lately.
Oh.
With our
He has a dude with him.
yes, he has a dude with him named Zwarte Piet, and Zwarte Piet translates to Black Pete.
Kind of like
Racist.
Pedro
I knew
Negro.
it, God
and
damn
it
it.
is-
Mexico,
Right.
Mexico's
It
got
is-
one like that.
it
Pedro
is-
Negro. I think.
Yeah, so Zwarte
Not
Piet.
Pancho Claus?
So funny thing, I'm going as Zwarte Piet to a festival this year with blackface. And
So
it's gonna be terrible.
here's the thing: Zwarte Piet is always shown as a white man in blackface.
Yep.
Always.
Always.
It's never a black man.
Yep.
So there's multiple. The legend has been skewed a few times over the years.
Oh, totally.
So it's
interesting,
either
okay.
Zwarte Piet is always shown as a white man with blackface because he's the one that goes down the chimney to fill the shoes with goodies.
Right.
Okay, so that's why it's always a white man with blackface because he's a Spaniard with blackface. But the tradition actually starts with
So the blackface is because like going down
he's
the
sooty.
chimney.
He's
It's
covered with
soot.
soot.
Good, yeah.
Coming down the
Yeah,
chimney.
chimney,
So, but the tradition actually is where it really started was Zwarte Piet is supposed to be the devil that Saint Nicholas has tamed and brought with him to help deliver toys. He's supposed to be blackface because he's the devil and sooty from hell, and he's supposed to be with horns. But the horns over time kind of got deleted, and they kind of rearranged like how the legend kind of went with it. And so obviously like a white guy in blackface has been catching a lot of fucking flack lately.
Sure.
and not to mention that they're saying that the black guy is evil.
Right.
Well, yeah, and the bad, yeah. So
I mean,
that little
fuck.
detail, right?
yeah, that one little detail.
tiny
little
It's
detail.
like he's not evil because he's not bad in like
Well,
when
they put horns on him.
when they
didn't
talk about
But he's still not evil.
he's still not evil though.
Yeah, he's not evil.
He's doing good deeds.
He's a partner.
Yeah. So like when you go
a
like we
partnership.
there's a
Like
store in
devil's
Old Town
advocate.
Spring right next to where
Yeah.
old Java Jazz used
Yeah,
to be.
yeah.
Called the Little Dutch Girl, and they import stuff directly from Holland. That's the only place you can in Houston that you can really get like authentic Dutch food and things like that. They love black licorice. I don't
shit.
know
They
why.
do. Oh, God.
But I'll tell you what, that closely ties to the German interpretation of Christmas as well. It's the same exact thing. They leave like what is it called? So instead of coal, if you've been bad, right, or whatever,
Yeah.
they leave rotten potatoes.
Naughty.
But if you've been good, you write poems or you write
Right.
songs or you have art done for Saint Nicholas, and it's the same concept, just a little different, but it's the same.
Yeah.
Same
So
concept.
like Saint Nicholas typically leaves Krunush, which is like a ginger cookie. So like both of my girls, my wife is a redhead, so my oldest girl's a redhead, and Corey's blonde. But we used to call them both Krunush gingers. So like they were our little gingers. So we had the ginger cookies are really delicious, but the Dutch love like fucking cumin seed cheese.
Yep.
And which is delicious, by the way.
okay.
It's
It is
it's
fantastic.
Kamanakas is the Dutch word for it.
You got to
and-
go to the HEB marketplace in like Midtown.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of great Dutch foods.
Oh, nice.
So the tradition with Sinterklaas is like we get together with our family and they make pea soup. I don't know why the pea soup. That's a tradition, but we have pea soup, and they sing these Dutch songs. Her Aunt Barbara speaks Dutch, and her kids are very multicultural, even though they've only lived, they grew up and they were raised in Texas, but she kept that like tradition alive
That's awesome.
in her house.
Yeah.
So like her oldest son speaks a lot of Dutch. He, learned Spanish. He's an ESL teacher, for God's sake. He plays rugby. They lived in Ireland for a little while. Like all of her kids are just everywhere. They have a really interesting family. My wife's an
beautiful
only
thing.
child, and that's like those cousins are like the closest thing she has to siblings.
That's a beautiful thing, yeah.
And it's great, like being part of that family dynamic. It's so awesome. Because I really want my daughter to like grow up in that and like see this multiculturalism. Of
course.
This world view of things that's outside of just the American view of things. So like that in of itself is really great. But like her dad like told Melissa for the longest time when they were growing up, oh, I don't speak Dutch. But then like her grandfather died. That this was kickstarted kind of all this whole thing. Like her grandfather died, and they went to Holland for the funeral or whatever. Her dad speaks almost fluent Dutch, and and she's like, "Well, you told me you don't speak Dutch," and he's like, "Well, I don't." And she's like, "You're talking with these, anyway." So that's kind of funny.
He still refuses.
Yeah,
That's some
I'm
Jason
telling you, I
Bourne shit
don't.
right
That's
there.
Yeah, exactly.
what do you call that in Mexican?
Spy.
What do you
That's
call
Dutch,
that
right?
in like Mexican culture when somebody's like, "Oh, I don't speak Spanish,"
Oh
We
no,
call that-
I don't speak Mexican or
We call that
taco.
shame, is what we call
Yeah,
it.
it's like a fraud
Mexican or
something.
taco. That's what we respond to.
But okay, so
Wow.
and maybe Josh, you can relate to this since you have a family and stuff like that. Like,
I want to talk.
are you a
I'm hungry.
fan of like maybe like one year do this family and then the following year doing another family? Because your deal sounds chaotic. Dude.
Yeah.
You sound like you're
I got it
super
off.
busy.
Well, we have it scheduled out. So like it just so happens that like because of Corey's situation, and I don't know if it's because of Corey's situation or what it is, but it's people have been very accommodating to what we have going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Christmas Day, my sister and her husband refused to drive on Christmas Day. So I see my sister Christmas Eve at my father's house. So that's when we do Christmas with them. And that's the only sibling between me and my wife. Like that's my sister's an only child, or my wife's an only child. But my sister, we see her and her kids. The only other tradition we have is like today was my mom does grandma's cookie day. So all the grandkids spend the night at her house and they bake and decorate cookies. So we take Corey over there and we have to kind of hang out. And, Corey does, we kind of have to help Corey do cookies and stuff like that. And all the grandkids stay over there. But, as far as scheduling and stuff like that, I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. We just kind of stay here, and people come to us, you know what I mean? We'll go to my dad's house Christmas Eve. And then Christmas morning, we'll wake up, and, my daughter wakes up and we have Christmas morning here. She gets her gifts from Santa Claus and, things like that. But one of the things that I kind of wanted to bring up was this advent of this new Christmas tradition. We're running short on time, so I'll try to keep this short and sweet. But there's this new Christmas tradition that's happened in the last, 7-8 years. This Elf on a Shelf thing. Do y'all do the Elf on a Shelf with Landon? Do you do Elf on a Shelf?
I don't know what the fuck that is. I see that.
So
I have no
Elf
idea.
on a Shelf is you know what? I don't even fucking know how it started, but you buy the Elf on the Shelf comes with a book. Okay, it's a storybook, picture book for kids, and it comes with a little stuffed doll elf. Yep. And the basic gist of it is that once Thanksgiving is over, becomes the holiday season, and your family's elf for the first time when you buy the set shows up and you read them the story, the Elf on the Shelf book. The Elf on the Shelf book says, "Hi, I'm your elf, your family's elf, and I'm here. You need to give me a name." Okay?
Right.
And so the kids name the elf, and every night the elf flies back to the North Pole to report on your behavior to Santa Claus, and then comes back the next morning. The elf's magic will die, and it won't be able to report to Santa Claus anymore if you touch it.
Right.
So the kids can't touch it. So basically, and then the last night, Christmas Eve, it flies and gives its last final report to Santa and helps, the deliver the kids presents and stuff like that. It's basically, the elf's going to see what you did. It's going to tell Santa. It's, a way to kind of check your kids a little bit.
It's a white people thing.
It's not. It's
not.
spreading more than that, though.
I'm doing it in my house.
It's also a rich black people thing. And,
Yeah.
Finally, somebody said it.
It's become a cultural phenomenon.
It has.
More
It
and more
really
people
has,
are doing. They're posting pictures on social media about all these weird situations.
I told
they're
Megan
putting
that
their
we
elves
need to set up the elf line in a bowl.
yeah, totally. Because you want Landon to go to school and go, my elf lighted a bowl. Yeah.
in. My elf smokes pot.
Yeah. So basically, what it is children are now hashtag woke. And these kids are sitting here going, well, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me this dude is watching me
Yes.
all year round,
Yes.
but I can't see this dude?
Magic,
He's
man.
watching me?
Magic.
And you go, magic. And they go, I mean,
Amen.
it's 2018,
Amen.
and your iWatch can tell me the temperature and the barometric pressure. So
Yeah,
I'm not buying the
it's-
magic, dude. And then you go, okay, well, fine. You know what? We're going to have one of the elves come here and watch your ass.
Yeah.
And so then the kids get the elf. and
It
everything
gets them
else.
from about 5 to 9. I think this is probably going to be the last year that I'll be able to do it with my daughter.
Sure. Sure.
Before we have to have the conversation about what exactly being a Santa Claus and being,
Right.
what all that means and how to transfer that down to their younger siblings. And there's a great explanation about this on I think it popped up on a Facebook feed one time, and I saved it because it was a great way to transition your kids into the giving spirit of Christmas.
It's just a magical time, man.
Right.
I'm
that's what the elf does. It kind of preserves that magic because that's what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's not only for the kids though, man. I had some fucking guy with open carry fucking revolver was telling, wish me a Merry Christmas. I'm like, dude, that's fucking awesome. Because I know from January to November you're gonna be like, you goddamn Mexican. And it was just it was weird that
you're taking my job.
He fit,
January
no.
November,
He fit
but
the stereotype of wishing me a Merry Christmas, but knowing damn
you
well.
just fucking stereotype.
you racially
that guy.
profiled.
Yeah, you did 100%.
Well, it's okay. He open carried. I mean,
And?
it's-
Well, hold on.
you open
And?
carry. You're
And?
a Trump supporter. That's all.
Wow.
See, that's the problem with this black. Oh no, we're not getting into politics.
We're not doing it.
We're not doing politics or religion. That's
We
what we
will
don't talk
do it
about.
later. We will.
No, we will not.
do
No,
it.
but
Politics
it is a
or
beautiful
politics.
thing because We took Landon to go see Santa, and he ran to Santa.
I saw that.
That
was
was
and, you know, it's like
legit,
I love that because you know, kid, you know.
That
I'm not trying to
magic-
tell you how to parent, but it's just
Sure.
like it's good to like see the joy
Exactly.
in his face
Exactly.
and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
But so how
That's-
old were you when you found out
that's a
Santa
good
Claus
question,
wasn't
man.
real? And also, and how? What
I
did
can't
you
even
think?
remember, man.
Wait a second. Santa Claus isn't real?
Well, spoiler alert.
Well, I do remember one time. It was crazy, and I remember this to this day. And my parents were together. It's like I remember I wrote a letter to Santa and put it underneath the tree, and I just wanted a chess set.
And you recognize your mom's handwriting?
No.
Oh, go
He
ahead.
wrote me back, and then there was a fucking chess set. So they went to fucking
That confirmed it.
They went to Kmart. Or something, and they bought me a
Albertsons?
cheap
Venture?
ass chess set or Ventures, right?
Ventures!
But they
Nice,
I was like,
old school.
and I was testing like Santa. If Santa's real,
Sounds real. I'm gonna get this.
I'm gonna
chess
get a
set.
letter back, and I'm gonna get this motherfucking chess set. But I got both, and I'm like, oh shit.
So you
Then I
confirmed
got
it.
to realize because my mom would save all these, keepsakes, and I
Yeah.
go into the photo album, looking at that's my fucking mom's handwriting.
Damn.
It's hilarious.
Oh,
But
so when you realized it,
Nice.
what
That's
was
sweet.
your
I
first
don't.
thought?
I think it's just you grow up, and your friends are like, "There's no Santa," then you kind of gravitate to that, and it's like, okay,
Okay,
it
so I'm
probably isn't. Whatever, that's fine.
all right. So I'm gonna one up you.
But that.
I caught my lazy ass mom. Okay, caught her. This bitch had a bike in her hand, rolling it to the front, and I said, "What in the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "Mom, is that my Christmas?" Yeah, Josh.
There's no fucking Santa Claus.
There's no fucking Santa Claus.
Go back to sleep.
Go your ass back to sleep. We live in this 2-bedroom apartment, and I'm the only motherfucker pitching in. So, yeah,
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 nice.
Flair, yeah. But that's what I. So here's my concern, right? Because you don't have kids. You have kids. And that's the thing, right? Your concern is when I tell my kids or when they find out that this dude is not real, I'm gonna have to sit down and go, yeah. That's why I told my wife, look, the elf on the shelf thing, that's cool, but maybe we don't do it. And she said, no, we got to do it. We got to do it. I said, well, look, when they find out this motherfucker ain't real, it's you telling her about the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and all this bullshit.
Yeah, because all that shit happens all at once.
It all
I
happened
mean,
at once. And you know what? And you know what? She goes to kind of a shitty school. So I don't want, and that's the thing, is it's like, well, when they find out, you got to sit them down because today's day and age, listen, my grandpa told me, when he told me some shit, that was it. I didn't question it. I didn't ask backup questions. There wasn't anything else, right? There was, hey, listen, there's no Santa Claus. Life's hard. Sorry.
I want
That's
everybody
it.
to know
Goddamn,
that
dude.
Josh is
That's
wearing a hooded
No shit.
T-shirt right now.
What
A short
in the
sleeve
fuck
hooded
does
T-shirt.
that have to do with it?
Well, because I think that sets the scene a little bit more.
Does it set the
Yeah,
scene?
because there's
You're
no
still
video
wearing
for
that?
this.
I'm like a Donna.
You're still wearing that, like when you had that conversation, the same shirt.
Probably.
No, bitch, I was 8 years old, motherfucker.
I'm pretty sure he was wearing a hooded
man.
T-shirt.
I'm
When
sure
it-
I had
I'm
whatever,
not- I'm not trying to-
whatever on sale pajamas were at fucking Kmart.
Adventure
Listen, man.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? What
I'm
you
sure
gonna do?
I'm sure I was wearing
blue
a,
light special.
The way I would word it. The
I
way
was
I
wearing
would
some
word
Power
it.
Ranger
Hey, when you went to
underwear and a
Kmart, did you
fucking
get Little
t-shirt.
Caesars? Oh, that was great.
I remember
No,
that.
I
Yes,
didn't
remember
get
that.
Little Caesars.
Slice
Paul.
by
I
the
didn't have a
slice.
So
dad,
great.
so fuck you.
What I was trying
Yeah, but
to say
that
is
was
that
that was a great time for
me
in the 90s.
personally, it's good for a kid to have that imagination because it'll definitely
Absolutely.
grow into what
Yeah.
what direction
That's
they're going to
true.
take
That-
in life.
that
So
plays
you
an
can always
important
use that
role.
excuse,
Sure. Well, and then you want them
or
to
Google
be
it because you
able
didn't
to-
have a dad. I don't know.
Wow.
Wow.
I thought we got rid of that on your bachelor party bus, but maybe we didn't.
Oh, man,
I wasn't there.
jeez.
So, I mean,
Wow.
we'll air it out now.
Well,
Jesus.
yeah, it's fucking dirty laundry, man.
Dirty
Dirty
laundry.
But,
laundry.
On that note,
On that note,
Merry
Several
Christmas.
notes.
Merry
Yes,
Christmas
Merry
to all you.
Christmas.
Santa-
to everybody.
Merry
Fucking
Christmas
Christmas.
to you, motherfuckers.
I don't like to say things to people, but fuck you.
Or should we say Merry
Oh, I'm
Xmas?
sorry, Merry Christmas. Sorry.
No.
Happy
We're doing the
holidays.
Xmas.
Keep the Christ in Christmas.
There
This
we
isn't
go.
Futurama.
Season for
Nice,
the reason,
Xmas.
or the reason for the season,
Xmas,
right?
people. Oh, you
Holidays.
mean Xmas. Christ, Xmas, yeah.
Tell a Jew.
Keep
So-
Jew and Christmas.
I will say
Gotcha.
I will say this. I did a lot of research on worldly different how different cultures in the world, right, portray Christmas or how they celebrate Christmas. And what I've kind of found in the research is that how they approach it is very you need to behave this year or fuck
Yeah,
you.
it's a behavioral thing.
Right.
Yeah,
Totally a
It's a
behavioral thing.
parenting tool, is what it is.
Like in Sweden, they build this huge fucking goat,
Yeah.
and they build this huge fucking goat, and they put it all on lights and everything else, and then since 1966, they burn it down every year. They try to. It's been burned down 29 times since then, right? But then you go to other countries and they hide their brooms. And you go to other country because some countries actually believe that Christmas is more of a how we celebrate Halloween.
But do they know how to handle a lighter?
I think
Where spirits come out and they hide their brooms and hide different things because so it kind of varies all over the board.
Very interesting.
you cannot please everybody. Like you cannot have a Jewish tree ornament.
Well, different strokes for different folks, right? I mean, it's all
Different dicks for different chicks.
And you can now people are saying that if you're buying your kid an iPad, don't say it's from Santa, say it's from mom and dad
Because Santa Claus.
Can't
Hey, you know what? Fuck those other little kids. I don't give a shit.
right.
You know
Not
what I mean?
one.
You know,
Not one.
I don't give. I really don't care. I'm sorry
Work
if that
hard
makes
for
me
your
a
money.
fucking asshole. If Tyrone's parents can't afford to get him what's on
Why
his
does it
fucking
got to be
Christmas list.
Tyrone?
It's just
You
the first.
racist
It's like when you watch Maury, dude. You know
It's all right.
a
Rob didn't do
Ladasha
anything wrong.
on
Why
there.
is
First thing that
Jose eating
popped in
all
his
those
head.
tamales?
It's like when you watch Maury, dude. You know there's a Ladasha or a Daquan or some shit like that on there.
Yeah,
You know,
Nobody's
I-
reading Tanner. You're not the father. That's not.
You know what I
happening.
mean? Like the kids figure it out eventually. You know what I mean? And
will.
I don't really give a fuck because the kids don't
Yeah,
understand.
I mean,
at
that-
the age that they believe in Santa Claus, they don't understand the concept of money.
Right.
I would never buy my kid an iPad and tell him it was from Santa because I want the fucking credit for that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, so like.
I'm going to the dollar store and getting you bathtub army men.
Well, you know, my kids ask for
They still
certain
make
things,
those?
and we tell them to narrow it down to their top 5 things that they want from
There you
Santa
go.
Claus.
There you go.
There you go.
And then those are the couple of things that you get them. You get them the top 3 out of their top 5, you know, so they don't get everything that they want. But
I will say next year we're making our children donate one of their presents.
Oh, that's cool.
now that's a great idea.
Well,
That
I
is
just
cool.
think that listen, if you're gonna get even if you do top 3, right, top 3 out of 5, one of those
can up
presents
us.
is gonna go.
Trying to
towards-
up us, man?
No. Because here's
I
the
think
problem.
you
Here's,
are.
no, because here's the problem. Here's the problem.
Sounds like it.
My daughter's birthday is December 27th, right? So
my daughter's
she
birthday
gets
is January 4th.
Right. So they get
Yeah.
fucked, right? So
Yeah.
so you're sitting there going, okay, well, hey, listen, baby. We're about to have your birthday in early December so you don't get screwed. Well, let's donate one of your presents to kind of keep you humble. Because I've been noticing you get a little...
Yeah.
Because
So-
they do. They get like...
do. They get
because
that
they
big
have so
head.
many...
Yeah.
Again, like Rob, my wife's family is big, right? Like I don't have a whole lot of family,
Right.
2 people maybe, and we don't see them. But for Christmas, we see just my wife's family.
Yeah.
Well, for them though,
Yeah, it'd be kind of-
they all just get for the kids and for the kids. We do the white elephant, but they just all get for the kids, and it's amazing. But at the same time, I need my kids to be humble.
I know.
That's
You know,
good.
I like that idea, but I think I may switch it up and make her donate some of her older toys that she
Sure.
doesn't play with.
Sure.
Because I told her, I don't want. She doesn't need, all these things that she doesn't play with. So like if
Right.
I'll tell her, you got 10 new toys. You need to pick, 5 or 10 things that you don't play with. Let's go take
That's
them.
good, yeah.
Let's go take them down to the battered women's shelter or whatever.
Right.
And donate that to them.
Bonus,
that's on
if
Wall
you get a
Drive.
blank receipt, the tax write-off. I don't mean to be that guy, but yeah,
You are that fucking
Yeah.
right
guy.
there. Listen,
That's a little Jew in you.
Hey
in
man,
there.
no-
white. It is
you're
what
doing
it
it.
is.
You're doing it for the right reasons.
you're doing it
but
for the
taking-
right damn
You
reasons.
take
Okay,
you take advantage where the government helps.
that's
you
right.
out.
My
You know
tax
what I
lady
mean?
loves me. Okay, fuck off.
Yeah. But
All right.
on that note,
On that note,
Several notes.
and so on that note, Merry Christmas,
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Kwanzaa,
Yeah.
Happy Hanukkah,
Happy Hanukkah.
Feliz
you.
Navidad.
yeah, whatever
I don't
happy
give a
holidays,
shit. Fuck you.
Wow.
To
Happy
whatever you guys
holidays,
celebrate, bottoms
me.
up, a toast to you,
And
to
make-
all of our great listeners. Here's to a great 2019 for Gentlemen No Class and all of
Yeah.
our No Class listeners.
Absolutely. And
Make it safe.
if you're listening, donate to Children Without Beards. It's a fantastic
Without
charity that
Beards.
we're working with
Children
lately.
without beards. I've checked that out.
It's a
'Cause I
fantastic
feel like a
charity that
child
we're working
myself.
with. It's a
I need
Chuck
fucking
Norris
beard.
charity that we're working with.
I need a beard.
And on that note,
Yes.
You do have a beard.
we have been Gentlemen No Class. I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
And Paul, Merry Christmas,
And I'm
motherfucker.
Rob. Happy
Merry
2018.
motherfucking Christmas.
And bottoms up to a new 2019. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Bye.